All right, are we ready? Can we go?
Yeah.
So what
I'm
do we?
drinking too.
Oh, all right. Okay,
Yay.
I'm not.
Are you still getting skinny?
Yeah, I wish. I'd like to be. Yes, I gave up beer for Lent. So
You did?
Oh, no. What do you?
I was like, since
Do I
when
look
do you participate in Lent?
Do I look stupid? Come on. Hey, this is.
Do you want a real answer to that question?
This is Due to Underwhelming Demand with Dave, Rachel, and Forman, the podcast that's like March break. Not everyone gets it.
Yes.
And that,
What?
and I caught you off guard, and it's
Oh,
still
that was
funny.
good.
It's still funny.
It's actually funnier.
It is funnier.
It actually isn't funny anytime. I don't know why you keep doing it.
It's funny.
Okay.
It's funny. Trust me. It is funny. And this wonderful, very funny podcast is brought to you by Rachel.
Calves for a Cause.
Of course.
Calves for a Cause coming up very soon. April 3rd is when the auction is happening. They have a couple of them. They've got a live sale April 2nd at the Canadian Dairy Expo in Stratford.
Yep.
They're doing it in Stratford again, and the live sale is April 2nd,
7 p.m.
7 p.m.
in Stratford, or also online at dlms.ca.
Oh,
Yep.
get your cows on.
That's right. Well,
Yep.
if you're in need of a calf, there you go.
Of course.
But before that, if you would like to inspect the merchandise, there is a sale calf parade live from the Canadian Dairy
Really?
Expo, April 1st at 7 p.m.
That
Amazing.
sounds fun. I wonder if they dress them up.
Only one way to find out.
That's true. You might have to go. It would be like the Swan Parade. They probably do that around that time too. April.
Yeah, the swans aren't really dressed
Right?
up, Rachel. They're
I know,
not.
but it's a parade of animals.
It's a parade.
That's fun,
It is a parade.
right? Okay. So, but these are calves, and if you don't want an actual calf, maybe you just want the genetics of a calf. That frozen genetics sale closes April 3rd. That's online. What are you laughing at? Online at
Pretty much
Farmgate.
everything you say.
Farmgate Timed Auctions is where the frozen genetics sale is. That closes April 3rd. So you can check it out. Calves for a Cause on Facebook, on Instagram, on their, I don't think they have a website, to be honest with you.
But it's a fundraiser, so do it.
It is a fundraiser for the Children's Hospital here in London, which serves kids and takes in kids from a lot of Ontario, pretty much half of Ontario.
Yeah.
And so far, Daryl and Sarah Marcus have raised over $150,000 for
Amazing.
Children's Hospital
Absolutely
just
amazing.
through this sale.
Absolutely amazing.
It's really like the entire dairy industry getting behind Children's Hospital. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
amazing. Amazing.
Okay. Listen, it's March.
Whoop-de-doo!
Yeah, big deal, huh? And there used to be a thing, and I don't really know if it's a thing anymore because I'm not sure what it's like at your homes. But usually at our place, after Christmas, sometime in that break period, and we had normally, I remember when we were working, and my wife often takes this amount of time off because the kids are off for like 2 weeks. So you, sometime between Christmas and New Year's, or when the kids go back to school,
Yeah.
there maybe you put your decorations and that stuff away. But at some point, maybe you got new clothes, maybe you got new toys if you're with the kids. At some point, you do a cleanup. You decide. At our house, we get a couple of garbage bags out and we throw old clothes in. And we take them to Goodwill or we take them somewhere else where somebody else can use them. And that seems to be the time of year where we do a cleanup. Because we're home, we're not doing anything anyway. I don't know if you guys do that, but
Yeah, we do too, especially because the kids are all getting new stuff at Christmas.
Right.
And they don't get toys anymore, actually. But when they did get toys, I was like, all right, we got to get rid of like however many toys you got. That's what we got to get rid of. So, and I would just go through and.
How old's your youngest?
7.
Not getting toys anymore,
I
huh?
know.
That's pretty sad.
Well, she
What is
didn't really ask for any.
What,
And they don't play with it. Like, they get games and stuff, but not
Oh, okay. All right.
like play sets or anything.
When I was 7, I still wanted toys.
Still a lot
I
of
know.
a lot of Barbie
Well-
toys were a big hit for Emily, who's
Really?
also 7 this year. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I'm getting rid
Anyway,
of
so
Barbies. I
but
got
now
Barbies
we're
for
heading
ya.
into. Does
thanks.
anybody spring clean anymore?
I
'Cause that
mean,
used to be a thing.
Kind of.
it's
well,
kind of
if
like
you're
when you
having a
can do it
garage sale.
outside, and you're grilling out the garage, and then you
That's
get stuff
what
in and out of the
garage.
basement.
That's what I
and things
wonder
like
whether
that.
it's more of an outdoor
The
thing,
garage
maybe
is a
in the
mess.
spring.
Yeah. I want to get into the garage. I got to get everything off the floor and power wash the floor. Like it's filthy. That's what I want to do in the
Oh,
spring.
okay. When are you going to do that?
I don't know. When I can put everything on the lawn, which is covered in snow still or ice.
Okay. Well, I just wondered whether anybody spring cleans as much. And then I came across this thing that said 1/3 of the stuff we own. This is just, some sort of, they asked people and said, do you have stuff at home that you don't use? Turns out, 1/3 of what we have in our house, we don't really use, nor do we want.
Yeah,
True?
I believe
Yeah.
that.
False.
Yep.
Oh, I think
No, that
that's
sounds
true.
about right.
Yeah. I'm
like that's
forever
right.
trying to purge crap from my home.
Are you?
Yes.
And how's that going?
Well, I somehow find more. I don't know. There's still endless amounts for some
Yeah.
reason.
There's always more coming in.
Yeah, but I
And
don't
going
want.
out?
Yeah.
I saw something recently that millennials are very minimalistic compared to their parents because our parents would have knickknacks everywhere and just like things sitting around.
Yeah, I
and
don't have that.
heirlooms. And millennials aren't really into that kind of stuff. You know?
I don't know.
not.
There's an awful lot of stuff on those shelves behind you, David.
Yeah, I have some books back there.
books?
I have
Movies,
books.
maybe?
I have
know.
some movies back. Look, I agree. Some of that stuff can go.
Yeah.
But this isn't. This room is not the worst room. We have a room downstairs
Yeah.
where there's still toys from when Charlotte was, I don't know, 10.
Yeah, she's
There's
18 now.
Well, I know, and she hasn't
not-
looked
doesn't
at
need
this.
toys.
As a matter of fact, my
You can give them-
granddaughter,
Yes.
my granddaughter loves that room because there's toys.
Well, maybe you should
There's
keep them for
toys.
her because when she comes over,
No,
she has something to play
it's
with.
time to get rid of them. You got to get rid of this
My
stuff.
mom says to me, "Well, bring some of the toys here that you're getting rid of, and then the kids can play when they're
No,
here."
dude, because then it's still all you're doing is giving that to her.
Yes.
And you know what's going to happen? She's going to give it back.
Oh my God! When she moved from like the home I grew up in,
Yes.
and they were moving out, the amount of crap that she would just dump at my doorstep. Oh, I'm cleaning this room out. This is all yours from grade
Yes,
4.
you
And
can
I'm like,
have
I
it.
don't want this. I don't want this. Why
It's
do you
yours.
still have this?
It's yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a
Just
lot of
dumps it,
stuff.
gives it to me.
We have a lot of stuff that we hang on to a lot of stuff that we hang on to because we think, well, it has sentimental value, but we don't do anything with it.
Right.
It's sentimental, but what do I do with it?
Right.
It's just here. So we had this room, and the room needs to be, and we have both said over the last 3 weeks, we got to clean out that room. And to be honest with you, I'm the one here during the day,
Right.
right?
So it's
And
your job.
you know me, Rachel, better than anybody. I went down there one day last week. I went down there and I looked at it and went, I got to do something about that room. I have
Close the
to
door?
Go in there and do.
That's what I would do.
That's exactly what I did. I closed the door and thought, well, that was good. Now I don't see it anymore. Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do.
Well, there's stuff that I just don't want to deal with it.
Do you know
I
what?
don't.
Because dealing with something like that has to be so thorough.
I
And
know.
So you can't just half-ass that.
I know.
You can't just you got
That's
to
it.
spend like a full day
You
going
sound
through the whole thing, organizing it.
You sound like my wife.
Yes, it's a
We are-
pain. That
we are-
takes time.
Yeah, we're going down this weekend.
Okay.
I'll
so
let
you've
you
got
know
a
how
plan.
that works out.
Especially in a house like that where you haven't moved in
No.
decades.
Yeah,
No,
you've lived
we've
there
been
for
here.
how long? Right?
You'd think we would be in a
a
good
long
spot
time.
because we've moved quite often.
Yes, that's right. You probably
we've
get
only
rid of
been
stuff.
here for I don't know, just a year and a bit now. We
Yeah.
were only in Halifax for 2.5. Our house in St. Thomas before we were there for
You must
good,
have got rid of lots of stuff.
good 10
Right.
years. But we've gotten rid of so much stuff, and yet there's still so much stuff here right now that's absolutely unnecessary.
Do
Guys
you
like to-
have boxes that are still unpacked though?
Yes.
Really? Do you have boxes that you didn't unpack in Halifax and are still they
don't have any
moved
of
with
those.
you and
Yes.
are not unpacked now?
Yes, and it's all my stuff. I'm aware of that. It's my shit. It's my crap. It's like boxes of CDs, and Ashley's like, "Why do we have these CDs? Because they're good. They're CDs. They're,
You never know.
I own this.
I have mine
music.
all.
Right.
I have
Yeah.
mine all labeled. I have them like
Yeah.
Wow.
A to N.
Oh,
Yeah, then-
my.
And I've got them all labeled.
Artist in terms of artists, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But I also have, like, if you guys are ever in a golf tournament, I've got golf clubs for you, and probably your
great.
foursome. So
Oh, I could use some. I don't have any
those.
clubs.
yeah, I could
sell
look
them.
after you, Forman.
Yes, please.
No
I didn't
problem.
realize you had so many golf clubs.
I got way too much of everything.
As you know, I am a golfer now, so I could maybe use some of those.
Don't waste them on Rachel.
No,
Give them
no.
to Forman.
This is due to underwhelming demand. We are a podcast where Dave, Rachel, and Forman, and this fine podcast is brought to you once again, and we appreciate this, by Intuition Nutrition.
Yes, Jenna Zyka is the dietitian with Intuition Nutrition. She owns the business, and they can talk to you about any kind of they just want to promote healthy eating, right? Intuitive eating, and so now they actually have a registered social worker who is working with them, and you can have sessions with her. Her name is Dominique, and she has a passion for supporting individuals on their journey to mental wellness. Sometimes losing weight or maybe eating differently might come with some maybe mental blockages, right? Maybe you have to unlearn some things. Maybe she could help you do that. So when you sign up with Intuition Nutrition, they've got packages that include dietitian and social worker, or perhaps you could just talk to the social worker. You can definitely only talk to the dietitian if you want. But they've got a lot going on at Intuition Nutrition, and they keep growing. And by the way, whenever you use a dietitian or a registered social worker, it's typically covered by your benefits.
Yes, I
So-
see that. Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, and so your benefits probably reset in January this year, right? So if you don't lose it or don't use it, you lose it. So if you're thinking of doing any dietitian services, maybe you want to talk to a social worker about eating or wellness or nutrition of anything kind of to do with diet, they would be the ones to help you out. Intuition Nutrition. So you can check out their website, intuitionnutrition.ca. Dominique is the social worker. Jenna is the dietitian. They have another dietitian there whose name is Jess. So they're growing, because
Yeah.
when Jenna first started with us, it was just her.
Yeah,
But
it
she's
shows
growing.
shows how much we're working. By the way, that
Yes.
she's still coming back, right?
Well, I hope
Well,
it's helping.
yeah.
Well,
But
I just
she
think
does a
that-
lot of courses like for moms and
Yeah.
new moms, and how to eat with a baby because you're so busy all the time.
Well,
and
with
just how to-
Dominique, her passion is menopause. So really helping you through that life transition and helping
that's
break free from
important.
diet culture, anxiety, depression,
Yeah.
other difficult life transitions. You can see her in person. You can even see her just virtually. You can even have an appointment in the evening. They're open to whatever you need.
Sure. She supports body image issues, disordered eating, all that kind of stuff. So menopause
Intuition-
is something we don't talk about, because I can tell you now that I don't know a lot about it. But we always
You're about
talk-
to.
I know, but but nobody tells you about this stuff.
I know a little bit.
You know a little? Yeah. Well,
I
no
know a
one
li-
tells you ahead of time.
I know a
Like they
little
talk
bit
about
about that.
puberty and all that when you're in school. They don't tell you about menopause.
I know a little bit, but I'm not as much as Intuition Nutrition knows.
No, they would
So,
know more.
We
And it's
appreciate.
probably covered by your benefits.
That's right. They must be doing. They must be doing things right because they
I
continue
think
to grow.
so.
So check them out.
Yeah.
Again,
Intuitionnutrition.ca is their website. Intuitionnutrition.ca. They're on Facebook and Instagram as well.
And I guess we're doing something right.
This is Due to Underwhelming Demand, the podcast that's like St. Patrick's Day. We're way better with lots of green beer. Trust me.
I'm
Actually-
having a beer. It's not green though.
There you go.
Yours
There's
is-
a
your
green
can
beer.
is green.
My
It's
a
can's
green
green.
beer.
Is that your
Pretty
moose
much-
head?
Pretty much
Moosehead
every.
purchased while the GST holiday was still in effect. I stocked up. You're damn right on the very last day.
Good.
Good
I am
choice.
drinking Mill Street, which is another Canadian
That's a Canadian brew.
beer.
Yeah, that's a
Because
Canadian
that's
brew.
what we're all looking for now.
Sure.
Canadian.
Okay.
I was
By
Googling
Canadian.
today because our refrigerator's dying.
Oh boy.
Our
what?
what refrigerators are made in Canada? Turns
Yeah.
out only very specific boutique and extremely expensive ones.
So maybe you just look at what's not made in the States. Like somebody said
It's-
Well,
Miele.
I tell you what,
Hard
you
to
need,
know.
You need my new app. You
Okay.
can't see it on here because it's too bright.
What's the app?
There's an app that somebody's put together. It's called O on its own, Scanada.
Okay.
Scanada. Look it up. You can get it for Apple and for your phone too. There, Forman.
Android?
For
Yeah,
Android.
that's to scan things in the store in
yes,
person.
to make, and it will give you an idea whether it's Canadian or not if you're looking at it.
If you were shopping online, by the way, and want to find things on Amazon and things that are Canadian,
Yeah.
if you go to CanadianBrowserExtension.ca,
That's
it was
handy.
created by a University of Waterloo student.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Try it
And
out.
it's a
That's
browser
just a
extension,
browser-
so it
Okay.
it raises all the Canadian results on whatever website you're using, online shopping, and
Oh,
puts
I'm
them
going
right
to
at the
do
top.
that. What is it called? Canadian browser? I'm going to type that in now.
I actually think I gave that wrong.
Browser.
Canadian.
Well, I know Scanada is right, so check that out if you want.
Shift is a browser that's born and made in Canada.
No, it's
If you don't
at
want to use Google, I guess.
supportcanadianextension.ca.
Okay, support.
It's a browser
Support
extension.
CanadianExtension.ca. Got it. Okay. Well, there
As
you go.
featured on CTV News and City News 570.
I'm going to download that right now.
Thanks,
Thank
Rach.
you.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, Dave, your Scanada thing.
Yes.
I think there's ananother one too, right? There's a couple.
There
of
There's
different-
might
several of
be.
them.
I don't know. I
There's
just
like
saw that
Maple
one today.
Scan is another one. There's a bunch of those ones.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. But they will not automatically flag an expiry date.
Oh.
Still have to look on
to
your
look at
own
the
for one of
package.
those. Yeah.
Okay. Ding,
Which
ding,
can
ding,
be
ding.
especially hard to detect
Mm.
if, say, it was discovered at the bottom of an old freezer.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
Oh, Forman.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
I'm going
all
to
right.
guess it's not your
need,
freezer.
I need to circle back, or whatever that is that we need to do here. I need to circle back here for a second. All right, because you switched on me, you caught me off guard there, and well done. Good. You're right. Ding, 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 Rachel.
Yeah.
Whose freezer did you find something expired at the bottom of?
My mother's. And she found it herself.
Oh, she did.
Oh.
I'm
And
surprised
this-
she told you.
She did not. And in
Oh.
fact, this story has to come with a disclaimer from the person who did.
Okay. Do
Yeah.
they have to remain anonymous?
This person says, make sure to mention that your Aunt Saundra wasn't the one to tell you. But the person who did shall remain nameless.
Okay. I like Aunt Saundra already. Yeah. I like
Yeah.
her.
All right.
Oh, yeah,
All
she's
right.
a good
All right.
time.
What did we find in Mom's freezer?
Well, that's part of the game right now because then
Oh, we're not sure what it is.
Well, the rest of this
Uh-oh.
is OMG. Saundra just told me something very, very funny that would make for excellent podcast content.
Okay.
But she didn't want you to know,
Mm-hmm.
my mother.
Mm.
It's something she found in her freezer. ... You would die.
Okay. What is it?
Uh-oh.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
So
Well, if
and
it's in the
to be
freezer-
clear, it's not my aunt. It's my mom's freezer. And she didn't want me to know because she said I would publicly shame her, which we're in the middle of right now.
Well, we're clearly, of course, we're going to publicly.
I'm
that's-
sorry, Kathy.
that's-
You're still
that's-
my favorite emailer.
That's what we do for a living.
Right, we
We
do
publicly
publicly
shame
shame
ourselves
everybody.
and
Yes.
anybody close to us.
Yes.
It's just what we
If
do.
you would
It's
like
our
us for that
nature.
service, send us an email, leave us a message, send us a voice memo. We got you. We will publicly shame your loved ones. What do you think it could be?
An old, like an old roast.
Way older.
Okay,
Way
see
older?
that.
Just an old roast. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
like
but
a
I don't
roast
know
meat.
that. I don't know
Roast
that would
beef.
have an expiry date on it.
Well, if it's
This has
freezer
an
burnt, I
expiry
guess.
date on it.
Oh, it has a date on it?
It's not a date. There's not a date printed on it,
Oh.
but it's very apparent that it's very old.
Yeah, and
some old, like, pierogies in a box.
No, before I start
I
guessing,
don't know. You want me to guess
No.
the kind of food that was
I
frozen?
feel
in
like
the
Not
if it's
freezer?
pierogies or a roast.
I feel like if it's in the freezer,
Dave, give it a
Forman-
go.
No,
Some old
because-
hot dogs.
No, because if it's in stop. If it's in the freezer, who cares? It's in the freezer.
Well,
Who
it's
cares?
true. It does keep it, right?
Yes.
Like, how bad could it be?
I mean, how bad can it be?
yeah, it's
Well,
not moldy.
but keep in mind, it's something she found in her freezer.
Okay.
I would die. She doesn't want me to publicly shame her.
Salad dressing.
Oh.
No, we've
Gee, I
been
don't
there,
know.
done that.
Well, I don't
I
know
don't
that
know.
Forman. I'm literally taking a stab at the wind here.
Yeah, I can't
I-
think of anything that would be in the freezer. If it's in, how bad can it be if it's?
Old
it
hamburgers.
it could be expired. I get
Cheese,
it. but
old
it's in the-
cheese.
it's in the freezer.
No. And keep in
Dave has
mind,
no guesses. I'm the only one guessing.
No, I have
her
nothing.
home is literally the same age as me. The freezer isn't.
What does that mean?
However,
The freezer's newer.
It's become trickier now. I don't know.
The freezer's older than the home.
no, the freezer's newer.
Newer than the home.
And I remember being like a teenager or whatever and cleaning out their old chest freezer, and there was like frozen fish in there. Literally, it says like 1982. It was.
Oh my.
was
Okay. Not
This
even that.
isn't this isn't quite that old, but almost.
So almost when you were a teenager,
I don't
which was
know
like
what would
20
be
years
in-
ago.
No, almost mid 80s.
Okay.
Oh, it's from the 80s.
Yes.
So she transferred it from the old freezer to the new freezer and then left it.
Yes, it made the transfer to freezers and is still there today.
Old, like, cookies that someone made and froze.
No.
Cookies.
I
They
don't
don't
know,
even go. They
Dave.
don't even go bad.
It's,
Nothing really goes bad in a freezer, so I don't know what
Yeah,
I'm
but I mean, if
guessing
you think
here.
an Oreo goes bad, it might get a little
you could-
stale, but it doesn't
chocolate
go
chip cookies,
bad.
I
Let
don't
me
know.
give you a big
Soup. Frozen
big
soup.
No, I'll give you a big honking hint.
All right.
It was food, but it was food only meant for me.
Pizza Pops?
Dave knows.
Oh, baby food.
Dave knows. Yeah. But it's breast milk from when I was a baby. Look at Rachel's face.
I knew as soon as he said that, I knew. I'm like,
Oh
it's breast
my
milk.
gosh.
He's
They-
talking about breast milk.
Wow.
Oh my
Watch
God.
this on YouTube for Rachel's face right there.
Oh my goodness. I have no words. There are no words to describe.
And they transferred that over when you were a teenager.
Yes, but
From
hang
the
on.
old
It must
fridge
have.
to the
I don't
freezer
recall
to the-
that being transferred over, but somehow along the way it survived.
Yeah, but there's a part of me I'm not sure what I'm most disturbed about. I'm not sure if I'm more disturbed that there's breast milk intended for Forman in someone's freezer today, or that there's just breast milk for Forman. I don't know
In general?
what I find more disturbing. I'm not sure. I don't
Well, he was
know.
a baby at some
Well, I know
point, and
that,
you
but
can
I
freeze
can't
it.
quite picture that.
But I wouldn't recommend keeping it
all I
for
can
40
picture
years.
now is the Forman I know, and this is his breast milk.
No, now you're picturing Forman drinking breast milk.
Not-
That's what you're picturing.
No.
Give him a bottle.
I had never. No, I
Oh
was
my
not
God.
picturing
At least
that. but-
picture it with the bottle.
Yeah, but thank you for giving me that picture. Wow, Forman, that's the best
I
answer
didn't actually
ever.
know. Did they have very good pumps back then? Like, I don't know how that.
Stop making us think about
Yeah.
it.
That's the wrong thing to talk about, Rachel. I don't
Well,
even know
I had
why.
to do
Why?
that.
Why
I
would
had to- we
that
all
be?
did that.
Why would that be the first thing that pops into your head?
Just
Don't
thinking
you?
of the logistics
Do
of
you
it.
not see? Never mind.
What were
Can
the
we-
pumps like in 1985?
Yes, what
Can
were
we-
they like? That's
Anyway,
the next thing I'm going to Google.
Does your mom
Hang
know that
on.
you know this? Well, she does now.
She does now, and it didn't come from Saundra.
Oh, it didn't come from Saundra. We're just blaming
Wow.
Saundra, who didn't have anything to do with it.
I need to move on.
That's hysterical. Oh my gosh.
I'm glad she's hearing this after just leaving from a visit at our house.
That's so funny. My face hurts from
I
laughing.
knew what it was, and Rachel's
I was like,
"What?
baby
What?"
food? Like pablum?
Why would that be in the freezer?
I don't know. A jar?
Just only
Little
for
jar?
me.
This is due to underwhelming demand. It's Dave, Rachel, and Forman. This is the podcast that's like the weather in March. It's all over the place. It's up, it's down.
We
It's
really
good.
are today, yeah.
Yeah, it's good, it's bad, it's happy, it's sad.
Yeah, it's ugly. All that.
Let's stay
It's beautiful, it's
together.
terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's terrible.
that's
Well, another thing that's kind of all over the place lately is the content that I'm allowing my children to watch.
One bell.
That's it.
I don't know. I think
was
it all
pretty good.
seems to be heading down the same road, actually.
What do you mean?
Well, we started at murder mystery,
Yes. Yes.
and now what's the
Yeah.
latest thing they've seen?
Well, what is your barometer for what you allow your kids to take in, right? Because we at home generally we don't allow them to go on regular YouTube unless it's on the main TV that we can see.
Mhm.
They have to use kids YouTube,
Mhm.
and so like swearing and things like if there's somebody swearing in it, we're like, nope, change it, and they know now. Like, okay, I'll do it.
Well, the biggest thing that we're on now is that we started watching it with her. And now, because we've already watched the whole series, and there's 6 seasons twice, this is our 3rd time now, we've kind of trailed off and let her start watching episodes by herself. It's Harley, who's 11, and it's Schitt's Creek,
Oh, yeah.
which is
I mean,
delightful.
Yes.
no, I mean, and she's watching the uncensored.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
there's the odd swear word, and there's quite a few adult situations, and, you watch her
Right.
face, and I don't think she's quite understanding
But
all
they
the
don't
jokes.
get it. I mean, I never understood. Look, I will
Yeah,
tell
they don't
you.
really get it.
I will
which is
tell you before
fine.
you go
Yeah.
into this, because I remember you guys, we had a conversation, I think, at one point where you weren't allowed to watch, say, when you were kids, The Simpsons.
No,
I wasn't allowed
I was
to watch. Yeah.
absolutely
And I
not
let
allowed
my
to.
kids,
No.
I let my kids watch The Simpsons, and I'll tell you why. I sat with them. It was a cartoon. They wanted to watch it, so I thought, okay, well, I'll watch with them. And their mother was concerned at the time, so I watched it with them. I was laughing my head off. I'd never seen it before. I think it was reasonably new,
Yeah.
and I was laughing, and I was watching my kids, and they were looking at me, and they don't laugh necessarily when Dad laughs because unless it's something that's very funny, they didn't get it.
No.
They watched it, they didn't get it.
Right.
I'm laughing at it, and so I went up to their mother and I said, I think they're okay. They don't get it. And I think they'll tire of it because it's over their head.
Yeah.
It's not dirty.
Some of
it's
it
not.
is, yeah.
It's
Like
is
I remember
it?
some of the songs we used to sing as teenagers, and or like tweens. Like my daughter's
Yeah.
11
So
now. I
my
didn't
thing
get
was,
it.
so you can go ahead, but my thing was always, I don't think they get it. And
Yeah.
if they don't get it, then you can explain it away when they ask.
Yeah, and I think
Sometimes, yeah.
besides the swear words, she doesn't get a lot of the Schitt's Creek stuff specifically. And even if
No,
she
I
does,
get
like
that.
it's all wrapped up in a really good message anyway. So in the end of an episode, kind of like The Simpsons used to do, like the end of an episode, they would kind of wrap things up nicely.
Sure.
And there's still a good message to carry with you after.
Yeah, I
So I
guess.
think those
Sure.
are fine.
Yeah. So there's been a couple things recently that my husband has questioned me about allowing our children to watch. And the first one was at Christmas time. I said to Julia, not Kendall. Kendall's only 7. Julia's 11. I said, we should watch Christmas Vacation, the
Oh,
movie.
of course. Absolutely.
Because it's a classic. You haven't seen it. And
Not only a
lately-
classic, but it's a great life lesson. I mean, that's a great life lesson.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
is what it's like to have a fun, old-fashioned family Christmas.
Sure. Yes.
It doesn't turn out very well.
And lately, we've been introducing them to movies that are kind of classic movies. And one day she did say to me, what else did you watch as a kid? Let's watch that. So she would want to watch different things. So I was like, okay, we'll watch Christmas Vacation. And Jeremy said to me up front, there's a lot of swearing in that. And I was like, yeah, but Julia knows. Like, it's okay. It's not Ken. And he's like,
Shit and rocks.
I don't think so.
Shit and rocks.
But okay, like it's up to you, Rach. So I let her watch it, and then came the part where the girl, he was looking out, dreaming of the pool, and the girl's in the bathing suit, and then she starts taking off the bathing suit, and he looks at me like, "See, And I'm like, oh, I didn't remember that part.
Oh,
Okay, let's
please.
fast forward that.
That's nothing. There's
Bathing
nothing
suit hits
happens.
the window.
It's nothing.
It's
a
nothing,
dream.
but it's not. Yes,
It's
but
a
not
dream.
to an 11-year-old who's never seen that before, right? So I'm
Uncle
like,
Clark.
okay,
What?
yeah. So we're not. I'm like, okay, we're gonna fast forward
Did
that.
she ask any questions about that?
She
Probably.
heard Dad say, and then she knew that it was like something she probably
See, that-
shouldn't. It
well,
was risque, right? She knew that, but she didn't ask because it was kind of a thing, like between the three of us in the room that day.
Did
So
she
then-
ask why your house is always parked in the same place?
My house, yeah. No. Why don't we ever move anywhere, Mom? So then this weekend, we went to go see the play because we love theater in our family, as you know,
Yes,
and musicals. I took them to see West Side Story.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
the theater
Wait a
company-
second. The 11-year-old?
Both of them. Yeah,
We
West
took
Side
the
Story.
7-year-old to see West
Yeah.
Side Story.
Isn't that like
When
a
you're
gang
a jet,
war?
you're a jet.
Yep,
That's
it
it's
is.
about it's
Yeah.
about it's a gang war.
Yeah, it's based on Romeo and Juliet. So people
It's a
die.
great play,
People die.
great
It's a
music,
classic.
great movie.
Absolutely.
The whole thing.
Classic,
it's all great.
musical, which-
but you have to be sort of the right age.
So
And I don't
we went
know.
and saw
Seven's
that.
certainly not that age.
Well, I can tell you she was the youngest one in the room.
I would think.
Yeah.
Was
so,
she? Did you include her in the murder mystery?
Yep, we sure did.
Okay. Well, then she's
include her.
probably fine.
She wasn't sure how to play it, but
She's
yeah.
desensitized to it now.
She's
Yeah.
desensitized.
Well, so we're watching the play, and it was the theater company that my daughter goes to. This was the teenage play, so it was the teens that were doing this one. They did an excellent job, really, really well done. I was very impressed with the talent, the level of talent.
Awesome.
So yeah, it was really good. So, but in the middle of it, people die. So the first person dies.
Okay, hang on a second. For anybody who has not seen West Side
Okay,
Story,
spoiler.
Right.
spoiler alert.
How have you not seen if you haven't seen West Side Story, it's based on Romeo and Juliet. And if you haven't read Romeo and Juliet, like perhaps you didn't go to English class, people die. Romeo and Juliet.
Okay.
Yeah, people die.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so it's
Are
a
you
whole
going to
thing.
tell us what happens at the end of Christmas Vacation?
Again,
Well,
it's from
How
the
many other
80s.
things are you going to
You
spoil
should know
tonight?
how this ends.
West Side Story is from 1957.
Yes.
Yes.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, so Kendall looks at me as the first person dies. She goes, "What happened?" I said, "He died." She's like, "Oh my gosh." And then I can't remember if it was before or after that. They get into a fight, right? Or it was before that, I guess, with the knives. And so these kids,
Two of them die.
two of them die. Well, so
Yes.
that's what happened. So spoiler, Dave, spoiler.
Well, I'm just telling you.
Right, two
I'm
of
very
them die.
familiar with the play.
Yes. So two of them die. So they flip out the knives, and Kendall looks at me like, "Oh my God, they have knives." I said, "Don't worry, they're just props. Like they're." And then Julia said to us afterwards, "Yeah, the kids were running around with the prop knives and showing us how they worked during rehearsal because they were each rehearsing at the same time at the same place." So she's like, "They go in, Kendall. They just like go in, so it looks like you're stabbing, but you're not." And she's like, "Okay, we have to kind of spoil the magic of the theater for Kendall a little bit to make her feel better." And then they die.
Why? She's been to a murder mystery. She knows it's
Well, we didn't have fake knives at our
people
murder
are being
mystery.
offed at your place all the time.
And
Now she's
then-
going to wish she had the knives.
Right,
That's right.
right. Yes. And then another person dies in the play. And so that was a shocker, but that's at the end, right? So at the end, near the end. And so then the play ends, and Kendall looks at me and she goes, "What happened?" I said, "Well, they all died." And she's like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, they died." And she's like,
Yeah,
They
anybody
did?
that wants to go see West Side
She's like,
Story,
"I thought
it
they were
doesn't
faking."
have a
I'm like,
happy ending. Just
well,
saying,
yeah, it doesn't
there's
have
no
happy
happy ending.
I said, "Well, they were faking because they're acting it, but they're like in the play, the characters die." And she's like, "What?" And then I said, "Well, that's what happens when you get involved in a gang. You die. So don't do that." And they kind of looked at me.
Well
like,
done, Rachel. That's what
Okay,
happens when you
life
get
lesson.
involved with a gang.
well, don't, right? Like
What are you
bad
going to
idea.
tell them when
West
when,
Side
you,
Story
when
is
your
your
whole
deterrent.
family sits down, which I assume you're going to do soon, to watch Scream? How are you going
I'm not going to watch Scream. However, Grease might be on the way. And Jeremy wasn't
Grease.
really up for letting them watch Grease because they
Why?
haven't seen Grease yet. I don't know. I think there's a lot of swearing and smoking, and it's like
They're not
very
murdering
old
each
school.
other.
No, that's true. West Side Story
everybody.
is probably worse.
Well, actually, does everybody die
Yeah.
at the end? We haven't determined that, have we? Because there's a theory
I
that
never
the whole
knew that they all died at the end of Grease.
there's
I
a
don't
theory
think they
that
all
the whole
died.
movie is just
No.
I think it was
just
Sandy
float-
that died.
It's Sandy's, because when at the beginning when he saves her, he doesn't
Right.
save her, and so the whole movie is her in a coma, isn't that it?
I think, yeah, it's her hallucination, and then when they go off in the car into the clouds,
That's why
It
the
is?
car goes
Spoiler
up.
alert.
Spoiler.
That's
The
not
car
true.
goes. The car goes up into heaven, and that's the whole thing.
well, the creators of the story said that's not true, but
Oh.
what do they know?
we're going with that.
No, if the
How
creators
else
say
do you
it's not true,
explain
it's
the
not true.
car going up in the air? You can't.
I just thought it was kitschy. I thought that was
Yeah.
like a kitschy.
I
ending.
think that's probably
whatever.
exactly what it was. They didn't really have a good way to end it, so
Yeah.
they
Right.
just
It's a
Like,
better
we go
ending than
together,
West Side
da-da-da,
Story.
trail
You
off
can,
into
you
the
can
sky.
let her watch it. It's a better ending than West Side. If
Well,
she
that's
said,
true. Now
yeah.
they do want to watch West Side Story, the movie. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. That's a little more real.
why don't
I
you
feel
start
my-
with the
my-
Leonardo DiCaprio Romeo and Juliet first?
I don't
Maybe you
think
should
that one's-
start them small. Maybe work on a movie where there's only one death.
Yeah, there's 3 in West Side Story.
At
so
least 3.
it's quite a bit.
Maybe 4.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, lesson learned.
Don't join a gang.
Exactly.
Right, don't join again.
You will dance to your death.
Jazz fight.
This is due to Underwhelming Demand, the podcast. We are Dave, Rachel, and Forman. Big shout out and thank you to our sponsors, Calves for a Cause, once again.
Yes. Their sale is ending April 2nd and 3rd at the Canadian Dairy Expo in Stratford. So if you're in the market for a calf, Calves for a Cause, check them out on Facebook or Instagram.
Another sponsor that keeps on coming back because this podcast works so well for sponsors.
Yes, it does.
I hope so, yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
statistics show that people listen more intently to podcasts than they do other forms of audio media, and they engage more with the sponsors of those podcasts too.
Okay. Well, then engage with Intuition Nutrition because
Yes.
they sponsored this podcast too.
Right. So Jenna Zyka is the dietitian, and she started Intuition Nutrition. Since beginning with a couple of years ago, I think they have added another dietitian, and now they have a registered social worker, so that you can do some therapy and maybe some work with a dietitian, because sometimes there's some unpacking that you have to do, and maybe some mental blocks you need to get over when you're
Good point. Very good
dealing
point.
with stuff like that. So
Yeah.
intuitionnutrition.ca is their website.
If you would like to sponsor this podcast, it's very easy to do. You just get a hold of us. And there's so many ways to do that. You can go to our website, underwhelming.ca.
We've got sponsorship info there. And then if you want to email us, I can send you some pricing information, all the prices begin at $75 per episode. And you can email us at daverachelforman@gmail.com. If you have any comments or thoughts about the show, we want to hear from you too about
Yes.
that. So email
Of course.
us because we love to get your emails. We love to share them on the show. If you go to our website, underwhelming.ca, you can leave a voice note and we can just have you as part of the show. We can air that right in the show with us. Or you can Facebook or Instagram or whatever. We're on TikTok as well. You can check us out on all of those places.
Okay, daverachelforman@gmail.com. Forman, what do you got?
Yeah, on Spotify, you can always leave us a message. And we have a message from Bonnie from back when we were talking about, we were really dunking on Swiss Chalet for a while there.
Yes.
No, Rachel was.
Well, Rachel's gotten
I
sick
didn't
from
dunk
it.
I
on
was
Swiss
trying
Chalet.
not to.
Yeah, but you did. But
Yeah.
you did.
I know.
Bonnie, who
Okay.
says, Swiss Chalet is a comfort restaurant for me. Thankfully, I've never gotten sick from it before. Out here in BC, though, there are no Swiss Chalets, which I had no idea. I didn't know there's
Really?
no Swiss Chalet in BC.
I didn't know
Oh,
that.
I thought it was Canada-wide.
Mm-hmm. No, she says, I've only been gone from Ontario for 3 months, and I miss it already.
Oh,
Really?
their fries are the best, though.
Yeah, she said
They
the
have the
closest
best
one to
fries.
her is in Edmonton, which is 8 hours away. Who goes to Swiss
Really?
Chalet for the fries?
I like their fries. The fries and the sauce are so good. What are you talking about? They're so delicious.
Yes. Okay.
Hmm.
Of course, that's
Casey
what
has commented, asking us, why does the music in between segments have to be so long?
That's a Foreman. You want to take that one?
Because I don't feel like always editing them down to be shorter. I just like to place the music in between and move on to the next
Don't
segment.
you fade it out and like?
No, it
I
ends.
have
It
to
starts
fade
and
it
ends.
with the.
Just the way it is.
It's
You
like
know.
it's like a TV show when they have canned laughter, they wrap it up in one scene.
That's right.
Then they show an outside shot of the house, they play some bumper music and go to a
Yeah.
different scene.
Wait a minute. Who was
but
this
the
again?
music's
Who
only
is
up for
complaining
5
about
seconds,
the little bit of music we play in between? Who is it
Too
again?
much. It's Casey. Sorry, Casey.
Okay.
Casey.
Somebody
Casey.
else complained that
Hey,
they were sick
no,
of the
Casey.
music.
Here's what I have to say to you. Never mind. I'm not gonna.
Somebody said they were sick of the music. Should we mix up the music? Like
No.
that's kind of our
I
theme.
don't.
No.
It's
I
always
don't.
a different
I don't for
song.
the-
Stop.
I'm meticulous with that.
Okay,
Stop.
no, I don't. I use the
Casey,
same song
pick
on the
something
YouTube.
else to.
I edit the YouTube
Yeah.
and Forman does the audio.
Casey, knock it off. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, if you think the audio music is bad, you should listen to what's on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Same song over and over and over.
It's over there, Forman.
Calm my. Well, we have one more comment that we can read today. Remember, we had the comment that was, "Hey, Dave, Rachel, and Forman. I'm a 13-year-old girl. I always listen
Yes.
to your podcasts.
Yeah.
I love when you guys swear."
Oh, right. I just told you to calm your too. Okay.
And you just said.
Yeah.
So
What
that
else?
was the username is Feels Songs.
Okay.
So now, oddly enough, it's the same username, but it says, "I love your podcast. I'm a 14-year-old who listens to you guys
Well, they
before
had a
bed."
birthday.
I think so. You guys make me laugh my head off. Keep up the good work, Mr.
Okay.
Radio Show.
Yeah.
So now she's laughing her butt off and her head off.
Okay. Well.
Okay. All right.
Well,
I'm
you're-
just
And
glad
is a
you're
year
listening.
older.
Pretty
I'm
soon you'll
glad
have
someone's out there.
pretty soon you'll have nothing left.
You'll have nothing to laugh off. There goes an arm.